Allie, sister, I lay my body down. My mind is not slow for sleep. It has no place to rest. Not in this country, this government, this time of the heavy turning earth. An eternity can exist in a moment, an hour, or in the song life of the humble sparrows who mutter as they dream in the tree that breaks through concrete and sorrow. 5 trains cross the city. The man chased by demons screams out. He roams this area day and night. His bad dreams never sleep. They beg our ears for mercy. A ruined goddess dressed in streetlight begs a ghost for change. She wears a crown of cigarette smoke. Tulsa is the corrupted form of our name for town or old town, Tallahassee or Tallahassee. Down the street, the ashes of the fires we left behind and the forced march were rekindled beneath the council oak tree. It is still there, our story, and the tree who holds it in place, and the memory of fire. The thieving never ends, and now the pandemic haunts us Indians, takes us, especially those of us who are older. In our Muskogee culture, elder is respected. In the swallowing everything up culture, we are death watch. We now stand closer to the language of stones, the youthful streams joining our lands together as we prepare for return to the scarlet edge dreaming us. This time is when we are nourishment to the coming up ones. Those viral killers approach my mind to plant fear. They act familiar, shake hands, make treaties. They sit down without being invited. They destroy everything. We recognize them as part of the great disturbance. I give my mind the task of holding the door open for the ancestors, the guardians, the winds. When I sing, there is no way in for evil. Once in the middle of the country, in the early part of my life, I drove my children through the night in our small pickup truck back from winter break in Tulsa, north to my education, to my way out. We stopped for gas. Cold winds had blown and blasted us for hours. Snow was now covering us. My son jumped out to clean the windshield. My baby girl stood up and blinked sleep in her eyes. Yawning, she said, I was just dreaming someone somewhere else. And I wonder if someone somewhere else was dreaming us. Then she went back under the sleep blanket and drifted to where she had come to us from, to the origin place of poetry, of the eternal road between your people and mine, between you and me. We filled up, kept driving through the darkness. My girl became a dreamer with her beadwork. Her designs emerge from father, mother, ancestor patterns as her children and grandchildren play around her. And my son labors on the railroad, always moving, leaping agile to the next thought on the tracks of living. He worked on each of these trains running through this city, just yards from this room, as they carry oil, coal, and other extractions from beloved earth, as his daughter takes the path of plant and animal knowledge. Here we are, on the verge of shift. We lost 3 culture carriers within days. Others are on ventilators, turning toward the next sacred story. I find myself in the night, which is your next day, reaching through eternal wonder, through the minefield of prayers to you. Everything is a prayer, driving, singing, crying, falling down, getting back up, the small animals that we meet on the road, the trees, the being, the beingness. You are a prayer, my sister. Let us sew dresses, so we look the same as we walk toward the sun. We will make them together of grasses and winds. We will make them together of grasses and winds we find along the river of time, made of smooth stone. For Cobby Eckermann.
For Julie Harjo. Dear sister, there are no trains here. The railway lines have been removed, the station house left in disrepair. I wait by the broken platform for my son's return. There is no sight of him. The view is tragic. Thousands of trees were demolished to build the railroad. Now barely a tree survives. Old trees hold memories and have been destroyed. No truthful retelling of first contact is encouraged here. Miles of empty railway corridors were resown with native seeds. The regeneration of saplings offer a haven to native species of animals and birds. Of course, I am excluded. There is no returning. There is no return. In this place, my truth turns lonely. I hear my people's urgency on a crying wind. My grandmother reminds me to walk. I walk and walk and walk. My footsteps feel barren behind me. My grandmother walks beside me. I feel hope dying on my breath. My mother walks behind me. My mother reminds me to not waste time. Inside the horizon, a thin ribbon of trees is hidden. This is the secret route to the river. Many girth trees are the welcome here. I rest in the comfort of memory shadows. My daughter is here. She reminds me to smile. Her smile is the laughter of birds. A tragic view is repairing. The wind is singing now. I sit where the sedge grass grows, where the water slows. I remember to dream. My dreams weave a dress for my sister. It is the same as mine. One day we will meet again. I know this now. This river is filled with the promise of time. Sister, do you remember the secrets we shared? I have guarded mine since birth, my inheritance from my ancestors. A story tree grows inside me and can only be viewed in my eyes. I remember that day you held my gaze. I remember the day I held yours. Now everything is secretive for survival. Ask the birds, your sacred bird and mine. Outside is a desert land barren of trees. Empty roads crisscross where the trains once ran. Animals lie dead alongside the roadside. We search for the living. Yet it is the sacrifice of us for as far as the eye can see. We can see the truth. It is the method of governments to halt the arrival of prayer. Yet your prayer arrives through the silence of dismay, dropped from the talon of an eagle's claw, winged from your window to mine, that has flown from your heart. Joy, it is everything I need.